Welcome, Allie.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here today.
Thanks.
This is your podcast, and it's my podcast. It's our podcast.
Yep.
But it's really the people's podcast. We do it for the people. You know,
That is deep.
the listeners.
Yeah, I mean,
If there were no
yeah.
listeners,
Why would we? We would just talk.
we still
off
record.
The record.
No, we would still record it.
Our conversation.
We still do it. When we get out, like when we go out to dinner, we take like a
record
little
it.
mic with us
Yeah.
because it helps us like ease the
Yeah.
getting into it.
Well, I'm wearing my AirPods the whole time. You can't tell.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
I'm wearing
Well, we
my
don't
hood-
care.
I'm wearing my hood up.
Yeah, well, I
so.
don't look at you in the eyes, so it's part of our rules.
So this episode is a little behind the scenes.
Okay, let's do it.
And if you are listening, you at this point don't really know because the title is so ambiguous. But we're talking about launching an e-commerce brand.
Why are we talking about that?
A lot of our clients are e-commerce brands.
Right.
And so that means they sell things online. E stands for electronic commerce. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Internet. Internet.
E stands for smartphone.
And that means they're native to like an online space and they're
Right.
not like, oh, I have this shop in Chicago and now I'm going to sell stuff online.
Right.
So most of our clients only have an e-commerce
A lot of,
experience.
yeah, we work with a lot of folks who do that.
Yep. Like Internet Explorer. Why? Like
The E is for Explorer. It's Explorer Commerce.
commerce. That's all I could think of because isn't their icon an E?
I think
Isn't
maybe.
it?
Yeah, I don't know. Shout
I
out
have
to
seen
branding. We don't even know what
know.
it is.
So, Adam,
Yeah.
tell me about what goes into launching
Oh,
an Internet
right.
Explorer commerce
So we're
brand.
talking about the Internet Explorer commerce brand. I hope we're doing this
We
right.
need to stop.
We need to hit up our friend Webb, who's like a wizard of.
We do.
Because we're like, what are you? If we're doing this right, we're like, Webb, are you?
Yeah, I
are you
don't
doing
know.
this right?
We only know what we know. We don't know what we
Deep
don't
statement.
know.
That's a shirt. We're talking about this because we start working with people who they have a product they really like, or they've invented a product or something that they want to sell online, and they end up with, they're like, cool, I'm going to start a store, but then they don't know the mechanics of running an online store because it's not just about making a product, it's about all the other stuff of getting it sold.
Yeah.
And it's surprising sometimes. People show up and they're like, "Oh, I want to start." So people who are like obsessed with a coffee bean, they're like, "Let's start a coffee shop." Well, like running a coffee shop is very different than tasting coffee.
Yeah.
And so, I took some notes for this because I wanted to be prepared. I knew
Heck
we were
yeah.
talking about it, and these are the things that I think, at a baseline level, if I could talk to somebody before they ever work with us or before they're getting ready to launch or they're planning like, oh, I want to sell these things online, these are the areas I would pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah.
So
They're
first one,
they're very good.
and I kind of would love to hear how you've seen our clients or you've seen this implemented well. The first one is, this is generic. I mean, this word is ambiguous, but I would say your brand has to be very strong.
Yeah.
And I don't mean your logo needs to be strong, but your logo needs to be very strong. Everything needs to be very strong, from the words that are written to the images that are taken to the quality of your product to the way it feels when someone opens a package when they get it at their house.
Yeah.
All of that stuff needs to be, if you're going to grow and going to work this thing well, it needs to be a big deal. It's really easy to go to Kroger and get manila envelope mailers and send your product in.
Yeah.
It's just that doesn't feel special.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think the brand part of it is something to invest in, because if you don't have that, Amazon will just rip off your... It's just easier to do something somewhere else. Like,
Or
there has to be like...
you can always find something stronger.
What are people who you feel like have such a strong brand?
So our client, Alexa from Philadelphia, she originally started working with us for her packaging and her branding, and it was just coconut oil based products, which to me is like not that interesting. And she slowly started to pivot into like, after you have sex or after you're out in the sun, like spray this spray on your face. Like she had an opinion about how her product should be used.
Yeah.
And I thought that was it
was like all
made it interesting.
Very or mildly provocative situations.
Yeah, but like in classy, like she wasn't
like
trying
crude.
to be, she wasn't trying to be like weird about it. But I remember talking to her on Skype and being really happy for her because like take a stance about something.
Yeah.
And coconut oil is like on the shelves of Kroger. I can just go buy coconut oil. Why should I use this? I also just saw someone like she reposted someone oil pulling, which is where you just basically like slosh around coconut oil in your mouth. But she has like cocoa flavored coconut oil. And so that to me is like, that's interesting.
Yeah. Or cinnamon even if like you'd get the like after effect of a gum almost.
For sure. So all of that, I was like really happy. And it took time. Like it took time for her to start with, this is coconut oil based. Now I have an opinion about how this can stand out in the market.
Yeah. But I think that you have to have that. And she went about it the right way of experimenting. Mm-hmm. She started there. She didn't even have an online store. She was just like, this is just to get my name out and I want to start experimenting and getting this brand.
She did a lot of events in Philly and
got feedback, figured out what people like to talk about.
She sponsored events. So I think she is one of the people that it stands out in my brain.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think they're great. I think that you just have to have an opinion.
Yeah.
Because other than that, it just doesn't matter.
Right.
And there has to be something about you that makes you memorable, stick in someone's brain. I mean, the idea of a brand, you even think of, this is like ranchers with their cat, you like would brand their animals so that when they're roaming all over the place, you could look at a cow and be like, oh, that's from that place. Like that relates back to.
Sorry, vegans.
Sorry, vegans.
Sorry to talk about it. What's number 2?
Number 2 is you have to be able to drive traffic to your website. So there's a number of people that we work with who have very cool brands, their product's cool, all the other stuff's cool, but they're not doing any of the things needed to drive traffic to their website.
Yeah.
And that could be in the form of paid advertising to get in front of strangers, to get them to your site.
Yep.
It could be in the form of showing up at events. It could be in the form of sending your product to influencers and help work with them to get more exposure.
Just getting people. So why do you need traffic beyond just people buying a thing?
Because it's like where if you have a retail store and someone doesn't walk through the front door, you will sell nothing.
Right.
I just think sometimes it's so easy to hop on create a Shopify site or a Squarespace site with the e-commerce on it and to get some kind of a product up. And it's super easy to just drop ship T-shirts, or some other type of product.
Yep.
All of that is just so easy, and it's so. You and I could start 4 clothing companies, by midnight tonight.
For sure.
It's not hard.
For sure.
And I think because the stakes to jumping in are so low, there's just so many people.
Well, we've noticed this with certain companies that we're working with now, where we can't even really retarget because there's not enough traffic.
Yeah, we started.
So that's kind of that's what I was getting at. Was like, yes, traffic means conversion to purchase, but also like, how do you retarget them through ads?
Yeah, so
there's no one visiting.
Once someone comes to your website, all of us have probably done online shopping where we add some product on Amazon into our cart, and then all of a sudden we get on Instagram and now we've got ads for those products. Or we get an email later that's like, hey, you've got this in your checkout. Mm-hmm. So all those retargeting and abandoned cart emails are 2 very effective methods of increasing your sales. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have strangers coming into your site and adding products to their cart, you don't even get to do that anyways.
Right.
And so you've got to have that influx of people coming to even be able to develop, kind of the next best practices.
So our client, Primely Pure, also a skincare brand. We work with a lot of people in that sort of skincare wellness industry.
Keeps
but they all
soft.
But they all have very specific brands and angles. They do a really great job because not only do they have a blog, which is teased on the homepage of their Shopify site, but they also just launched like a series of quizzes. So you have to go to their site and you can take a quiz to figure out what scent of deodorant is best for you. And the idea that you can engage with those people, they always have like some sort of special or like free shipping over $100 banner at the top. All these different things that get people into wanting to check something out or add things to cart to kind of start playing around with how much things, how much your cart ends up being. And so I'm always really impressed with thinking outside the box that way. I see how much energy and time and design and testing goes into launching something like that. And so many people aren't willing to put in that work and wait a month before they launch something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those things. It just takes, it seems like it should be easy, but it doesn't mean it doesn't require things to get done.
Right. Also, if I didn't mention, our client Alexa's brand in Philly that we first mentioned is called Coco Kitty.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I did.
She got kind of like a cat vibe to the whole thing.
She has a little cat that actually is cute. I don't really like cats, but I like hers.
Yeah. You don't dislike cats.
Yeah.
Sorry, vegans. Right?
Right. We're just really offensive today to vegans.
We're not vegans. Do vegans care about that statement?
Of not liking cats?
I'm sure some vegans like cats and some others don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of vegans like cats.
Do you think vegans are against pets? Or are they cool with a pro-pet?
They're pro-pet.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
Unless you, eat your pet. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't want us, owning...
No, I think they're cool with pets.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like the way you're looking at me right now...
Vegans that I know have pets.
You're, misunderstanding the whole thing.
No, I understand. Okay, what's number 3?
The next one is understanding conversion rates. So understanding, do 2%...
I went cross-eyed.
I just will do this really quick because I don't want you to stop talking to me. You just have to understand, do 2% of your visitors buy your stuff, or do 0.5% of visitors buy your stuff?
If you don't understand your stats, our online membership has a capsule that just dropped where Adam breaks down how to figure out how to look at your ads and analytics as a business.
Right.
So if you want to understand how your analytics actually translates into what should I do next?
Right.
You can join.
I'll tell you a horror story so that
I can't wait.
So that so the people listening who hate conversion rates will be so scared they'll pay attention to it. One of our clients, we were helping her think through her marketing.
Yeah.
And I looked at her conversion rate on her website and I was like, okay, this is you. It was like 0.5% of people buy something who come to your site. And so I went back through all the advertising channels and I was looking at what are the click-through rates on those. So once I get in front of 1,000 people in some ad channel on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, how many of those people click on something?
Yeah.
How much does it cost to get in front of those people? And then of those people I just drove to the website, how many of them will buy something?
Got it.
And pretty quickly you can do generic math to figure out it's going to cost me this much to create this much of sales.
Got it.
And with that business, I looked at it and I was like, okay, so you need to spend $250 on advertising to create $100 of sales.
Oh, no.
Which means it doesn't work.
No.
So if that conversion rate changes, now you're starting to get to a positive, if that makes sense.
You have to actually work to get it to where it's not negative anymore.
Yeah, because it will start off negative.
Yeah, you can't change that. Well, you could.
You don't know where it starts.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So just understanding, if you have a really low percentage of people who come to your site and buy something, that's not the time to be like, why aren't people buying things? That's the time to be like, is my brand boring? Is this not compelling? Yeah. Do people not feel like they need to do that? Mm-hmm. Is my copy confusing? Is there more information that they're not getting?
Yeah.
You got to start figuring that out, how to create those.
Or when we launched our online store and we realized no one could check out because they couldn't scroll and it was a Shopify error.
And I spent $200 on ads.
Yeah. It's you're just sending people to have a horrible experience.
We were at Native Juice and she told us, she's like, I'll try to check out, but I couldn't do it. And I'm like, that's how many people try to check out? It's
if you can't check out and you're
please
tell a small business.
For sure, tell us.
Tell a small business if there's an issue.
Anything that's wrong.
Yeah.
We just launched our new website and a person signed up and was emailing us and was like, hey, this is broken. This is broken.
No, I also had someone on Twitter say that they inquired and we had a little thing that was like, if you're interested in photography, fill this stuff out. But I had linked like, in the meantime, you can check out our work, which opened in the same tab, which means it completely erased all of the content that she already filled out and she had to start over.
Oh, nice.
So I removed that.
Isn't that funny?
You want to know those things. And she was like, I'm sorry. Like she I was like, please tell me.
Thank you so much.
Okay. What's the next thing?
I'm glad we got that covered. Conversions, big deal. Yeah. Next thing is to figure out what does it take, how can you increase the second purchase? Once someone buys one thing from you, how can you...
In the same checkout or like later?
Sure. Same checkout's great. How can you get them to add more products to your checkout? But maybe you only sell one product. How can you maximize that follow through, follow up? So with the coffee, I've had really good success with that.
Yeah.
And I develop a strong relationship with that audience. I only sell it to people who I text message or email.
Yeah.
And then people can sign up for the email list to learn about it later. And so if you're listening to this now, it will go on sale the first week of July.
Yeah.
If you wanted to sign up, if you don't, you'll never know that it goes on sale.
Right.
I won't tell you. And so people feel like people respond to text messages, people respond to the emails.
Yep.
People order all the time. It's part of their like regular routine and system.
Got it.
And so I wanted to develop that relationship with my audience that was more personal. I sent them surveys about what do they use to make coffee, how much do they drink, what other places do they buy coffee from.
Yeah.
Like I want to be part of that part of their life.
Yeah. Love it.
But you got to figure that out. How do I go from one purchase, a new customer to a repeat customer?
And so another example, I know I already used them, but Primely Pure also, we just are so heavily involved in these launches. They launched a subscription program. So now it's kind of like on Amazon where you subscribe and save. So you save money. It's like free shipping if you subscribe to the product, like deodorant. And so you can like get it resent to you based on when you
What if you only use deodorant very sporadically?
Then you're going to have a lot. I thought you said Dorito.
It's like a Dorito-based deodorant.
Gross.
Dude.
Sorry, vegans.
I feel like Taco Bell would sell that.
That's so gross. Who wants to smell like cheese?
Sorry, vegans.
No
Dude,
one.
vegans love a Dorito.
No,
that is not cheese.
It's not vegan, though.
That's cheese?
Hey,
are you telling
Producer
me that's
Michael,
cheese?
will you look up if Doritos are vegan?
That is not cheese.
There's definitely milk product in it. Yeah, see, you know.
A cousin of milk product.
No, it's milk. It's like dehydrated something, dairy.
It's dehydrated? Or
Well,
is
they're
it like
not
the liquid?
wet. Gosh.
Do you know what's that thing where you get Doritos a little too hot and they kind of melt?
No. Oh, what is it?
Are we vegan or not? Not
No,
vegan.
it's not vegan.
Not
See?
vegan.
I knew it
A
couldn't
vegan
be.
listening to this was like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, I respect
It contains ingredients like cheese, milk, buttermilk, whey, and other milk-based ingredients.
like cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. There are
The ingredients in it are similar to food products.
I believe that.
Some are vegan though.
Oh, like versions or certain chips within
maybe
the
like
bag?
a Cool Ranch is a certain chips within a bag.
You just don't know.
Yeah, it might be a vegan chip or
You're
a
like,
non-vegan
hey,
chip.
grab me one of those.
Hey,
whatever.
shout out though. I respect a vegan. We've like made a couple of vegan jokes in this episode, and I want to say,
Yeah.
I like very much respect the vegan.
Oh, me too. But
choices
I
in the way of
understand
life
that like
and motivation.
there are things that they, a vegan flavor does exist. It's the spicy, sweet chili, and blaze flavors. They contain no ingredients.
Yeah, they contain
No ingredients.
no ingredients.
They're air. Okay, what's the next
Shout
thing?
out. So we got repeat customers. Make sure that your stuff is shareable, that people want to post about it. So a lot of the clients that we work with, one of the things that we talk about, if we talk through their packaging, things like that, what would make a person either when company comes over, they want to go walk over and show their friends, or they want to show people at work.
Post about it online.
But can this be so cool? Like every time we get an Apple product, we keep the box.
Yeah.
We've got all the boxes.
I feel like it's illegal to throw it away.
If you sell an Apple product and it still has the box, you can sell it for more. Like it's worth more
Yeah, that's
money
crazy.
in a resale value
Yeah.
if you still have the box. It's nuts. I was worried about we just got new iMacs and I was worried about having the boxes out in case someone saw them and knew to like steal stuff from us. Like it is like a status symbol. The box
Hide those boxes.
So what can you do? Obviously, you probably can't like engineer your stuff, however they do. But is there anything in it that makes people excited?
Yep.
To share it, post about it. We worked with skincare lines we work with. It's always the conversation of there's some items that if family's coming over or guests are coming over, you would keep out and sit on your table,
right?
Kitchen sink, bathroom sink, wherever, like that you would set out. And there's other things that go in the cupboard. And we want, and if you're listening to this, you want the product that people sit out on the coffee table instead of put away.
Right.
And that costs money. You have to spend like 13 more cents per thing. But if you are boring and not interesting and people don't want to talk about you, you're going to spend so much money on.
When we worked with Route 23, their simple syrups, and they invested in gold foil ink or got gold foil metallic ink, and that completely, it's that whole thing of like, I'm going to leave this out. It's beautiful. It doesn't look like someone made it in their house. So all of that, it matters.
Make it shareable.
Yep.
Whatever that is. And if you're an online brand, maybe shareable just means I made this guide or blog post or social media post that's so helpful or so funny or so interesting that other people want to talk about it.
Right.
Or they want to tag their friends, or they're like, this, I can help other people by sharing this. Yeah. So think through shareable.
Awesome.
The last one is my favorite.
What is it?
You have to build a cult-like following.
Yes.
Or just say a cult.
Yes.
And I say cult because it's too easy. Too many people say you should build an audience or you should build a community. And those things are boring. And anymore, you just hear people equate that with like, you can be part of my
email list
or a private Facebook group or Instagram followers or like, you're my tribe. And like, that is not a tribe.
Yeah.
Like a tribe is something that people identify together with. It's not just saying like, oh, hey, you're my tribe because you follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
No, it's like, you might be, I don't know. Like, do you have it in you to join this thing?
Right.
And I think the word cult demonstrates that we have like some kind of crazy investment.
Yeah.
Not that it needs to be financial investment, but
or like a power over the person.
Yeah, it just needs to feel like this connection, like we're part of this.
Right.
To the point that it would change behaviors and action and things like that. So
that's awesome.
Have you seen any of who's done a good job of that?
That's a good question. I feel as if it's hard because the people we're working on the products and things we're working on right now, they're not launched yet. So I'm like so in that mindset.
Oh, right. They like, people don't know they exist.
But our client Chani does that.
Yeah.
We built her website and branding and all of that. Yeah. And like people come to her specifically for insight and knowledge and want to learn from her and hear from her. Yeah. She's an astrologist, and it's just like insane to read. You went through all of the like Facebook comments just to make sure that things weren't spam, and it was like people's lives were changed.
So intense,
if you haven't checked out the stuff that she puts out, you should. Yeah, it's amazing.
I think of some of the our client Pursuit, who does a lot of events around in the Short North, in the community, and so much. They're just investing so much into the local community. They invest a lot into the local MLS soccer team that is in the midst of maybe not being here anymore, and they've like supported the supporters.
Totally.
Kind
of like became a cult.
I don't know if you pay attention to it, but like they joined in and they like raised their hand to be like, cool. we'll throw the party, you know? I think if you follow them on Twitter, like all the time people are like recommending or tagging them to other people who are like, oh, I need to get a suit. It's like, oh, you should check out these guys. You should check out these guys.
Yep.
And so that's not even a cult in like
alignment and
craziness way.
Support.
It's just like, we are here. Like we're part of this community. We're a grassroots thing. I just think there's such a perspective.
Yeah.
But their perspective is just kindness and being a good neighbor.
Right.
Which I think is really cool.
That is cool.
You don't have to be, Illuminati to have
Thank goodness.
that kind of connection with a tribe or
For
audience.
Sure. That's awesome.
Thanks.
These tips were great. If you are looking to start any kind of online business, favorite this. Can you favorite things? I don't know. Listen to this if you're getting started and you need that reminder.
Print it out.
Print out our podcast. You're going to love it. But yeah, I think all of those points are huge.
Yeah.
For the tiny business owner who's wearing many hats, working when others are out at happy hour, and trying to make their dreams become a reality, you are one of us. It's why we started the Diamond membership. Right now, as you're listening to this, it is $210 for the entire year. And when you sign up, you get access to basically these themed lesson capsules. We call them capsules. In each capsule, there's 12 lessons surrounding that theme. You get access to a live webinar that takes place at the end of each month and a live Q&A session with Adam and I. You also have access to our Facebook group where people can ask questions and get recommendations. We love supporting everyone in it. And yeah, so if you're interested, if you're a small business owner, freelancer, thinking about starting a business, we would love to have you. You can find out more on our website under the resources tab. You ready to talk about what's neat?
This is my favorite. I invented neat.
So of course you love it.
Thing. I want to talk about a thing that I'm obsessed with. And as I thought about it today, I'm supposed to go hang out with a good friend tonight. I've got a meeting coming up that I'm excited about. And I was just like, I want to cancel all of it and just go read this book.
What book?
It's called The Power. And it is so good. I bought it just because we were in this bookstore and the cover was cool. I picked it up, looked at the back. And
I can't wait to read it because you've been reading it.
Also, there was a sticker on the front. And
it was one of like Obama's
top reads, and I tried to fathom the current president having a top read.
Yeah, probably got to go to the magazine section.
Probably the ones with the real cover or like a photoshopped cover one.
Actually,
like
probably more like tabloid,
like one that he had commissioned.
It's like a newspaper print.
Like, could you put me on the cover of a Newsweek?
True. Yeah, that's true.
And that's my favorite magazine.
True. That is not neat.
Sad.
Let's go back to
the neat thing. The book, The Power. So this whole, I'm going to try and ruin none of it.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
It's
so good.
Also, I'm like 75% of the way through it.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 4 a.m. twice in the past week because I've been reading that book, which is nuts.
That's a good sign. Yeah.
But the whole book is I'll just say it's like, in the world, in the universe of this book, the thought women are physically dominant over men. That men are a little bit afraid to be alone at night when there's a bunch of women around, just because they're kind of powerless. They just don't have like that kind of thing, which was just, it's fascinating to like think of that world.
Yeah.
And it's just well written.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's also like, with power comes all of the horribleness that comes with power.
Yeah.
And with the patriarchy is officially, in this book, essentially gone, power doesn't stop corrupting people.
Right.
It's not like
once it goes into specific hands, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And people of all genders can be horrible.
Yes.
So
truth.
There's equality there.
That's feminism. Yeah.
That's feminism.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
What do you think is neat?
This is kind of not deep, but I have a new MacBook Pro and it has that like digital toolbar.
Yeah, the little slidey bar.
I love it.
Really?
I used to, when I would
that
see
was
people,
thing. Yeah.
I don't love the like connection output dongle situation, or the fact that my laptop power cord is not magnetic. It's just like, it
Yeah.
could just rip my laptop off the table if I trip on the cord. So I don't really get why they got rid of that. But the toolbar is really cool. I really like it.
Cool.
And I've used it more than I thought. I just think it's neat.
What programs do you use it in? Do you use it when you're editing an Adobe stuff, or is it on the web?
It's mostly, I feel like it is nice because when I'm in Illustrator, it brings up related tools like alignment or Pathfinder, things that often my little window in Illustrator isn't active, but then it's like prompting me. It's assuming that if I select two shapes that I might want to align them, and sometimes I do, and that's helpful. So it kind of is like trying to be smart.
Yeah.
And it sometimes succeeds. So
That's tight.
yeah. So that's it.
That's neat.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Peace.